This guide will walk you through setting up a Maestro workflow to test a Data I/O extension app using the Data I/O reference implementation. Note that all values, email addresses, keys, secrets, tokens, and other personal information you might see are for demo purposes only and have been deleted or revoked. This is a technical demo of building a Maestro workflow for a Data I/O extension app that can both read and write data. You have the option to execute the read operation individually. At this point, you have downloaded, configured, and installed the Data I/O reference implementation in the developer console. You're going to set up a Maestro workflow that collects data from a web form and writes it back to your external data source. First, make sure you have a web form available to use in the workflow. Navigate to the Templates tab of the eSignature UI and select My Web Forms from the left navigation bar. Select the blue Start button on the left navigation bar and then create Web Form in the Web Form submenu. Web forms created from eSignature templates can't be used in a Maestro workflow, so select Start from scratch for the form type. Name your web form in the Form Name field and select Apply. Navigate to the second page of the web form. Add fields that correspond to the fields in your external data source. In this case, use account name and account type. Activate the web form by selecting the blue Activate button in the top right corner. Make sure the access setting is set to public, then select the blue Activate and Replace button. Select Go to Web Forms. You'll be redirected back to the Web Forms homepage. Now, you'll create a Maestro workflow. Select the Agreements tab at the top of the screen. Select Maestro Workflows on the left navigation bar. Start creating a workflow by selecting Create Workflow. To set up your workflow, select Add Participant. You only need one participant for a workflow that uses the Data I/O extension. Leave the starting variables empty. Select Save. Now you'll add the Read from Data Source step. Select Add a Step. Select Read from Data I/O App from the drop-down menu. Select Configure to set up the read step. Choose the default connection and select the object type from the external system. Next, select Add a Rule. The rule is used by the Maestro service to identify the record to read data from. The list contains all the fields returned by the getTypeDefinitions action. For this example, select PushCount. Now you'll define the value the system must contain in order for the rule to evaluate to be true. The value for PushCount in the external system is 100, so enter that value and select Set this value from the drop-down menu. You can double-check the values of the fields in the object's JSON file within the project. Save the configuration by selecting Save and Exit. Select Next. Click Select Fields. Choose the fields whose values the Maestro service should retrieve. In this case, you'll retrieve PushCount. Select Save and Exit. Select Apply to set the configurations. Next, you'll add the step that collects data from the web forms. Select the blue plus to add a step. Select Collect Data with Web Forms from the drop-down menu. Select Configure to set up the step. Select the form you configured earlier from the drop-down menu. Select Next. Select the participant from the drop-down menu. Select Apply to set the configuration. Next, you'll add a step to write data back to your external data source. Select the blue plus to add a step. Select Write Back to Data I/O App from the drop-down menu. Select Configure to set up the step. Select the default connection and the object type from the external data source. Select Next. Step 2 is an optional step that enables you to update an existing record in the external system. Select Next. Select Manage Fields. The fields list contains the external system fields that the step will write to. This list only contains fields that are marked as required and not read only in the getTypeDefinitions response. Choose Select All, then Save and Exit. Now you'll map each external system field to a field in our web form. To find your web form fields, select Collect Data with Web Forms from the menu. Choose a web form field to map to the external system field, then select Apply. Your last step will be to show a confirmation screen once the web form has been filled. Add a step and select the Show a Confirmation Screen step from the drop-down. Select Configure to set up the step. Select the participant from the drop-down menu and customize the message title and body that the participant will receive once they complete all the tasks in the workflow. Publish your workflow by selecting the blue Publish Changes button in the top right corner of the screen. Choose a workflow name and select the blue Publish button. Select Go to Workflows. Verify that the workflow was published in the workflow's home screen by checking that the status of the workflow is listed as published. This concludes the demo on setting up a Maestro workflow to test a Data I/O extension app. To learn how to test a Data I/O extension app, check out the link in this video's description. Thanks for watching.